Bobby. We have stage 5 cleaner outside the battleship.
Busy person, and you lied to her and gassed her up about me. And not only did you do that, you were supposed to have a podcast with her, and you ditched her for somebody like fucking Tira.
Hi. I'm Bobby. I am a robot cat. A wise human once said an angry woman is vindictive beyond measure, and hesitates at nothing in her bitterness. I should like to tell you a cautionary tale of loneliness, bitterness, and creepiness. Or perhaps obsessiveness. Or, never mind. As seen by a subscriber, also known as Coley, arrived on YouTube in early to mid-2021, she admittedly created her channel in support of Radiant Brit. When our channel began, she rapidly defended Pumpkin Spice Patty, having a go at creators such as Dear Nicole, Bambi's Rambles, and Not Another Housewife.
Okay, I started YouTube, this channel, because of a girl named Radiant Brit, okay? We all know that. Okay. And then in Josh's video last night, he was saying that I have a pattern, kind of. And this is me paraphrasing. This is not word for word. This is me paraphrasing of what I gather of him saying. That I get upset when I go hard for someone and then I don't get those same feelings in return, right? Or I don't get that same sentiment back.
And he would be right. It goes far beyond reciprocated friendship. You, madam, become codependent and obsessed, so give you all examples of the pattern she speaks of. Historically, she attaches herself to someone, usually another YouTube creator. She obsessively defends them until they have a falling out, and then she always effectively turns on them, attempts to befriend their enemies, and emotionally rages until she moves on to her next bestie. We will begin with Radiant Brit, as that is where it all started. But the only way to take you with me through the ups and downs of emotional Coley, is to show you a video I did back when she was a huge supporter of Radioactive Karen. This is a video from 2021.
And you are not delivering a video that is meant for anyone with, logical thinking skills to consume. If that video is filled with personal insults and attacks, that's not commentary to me. That's bullying, and it's vile, and it's hateful, and that is something that I would never do.
I go hard for Brit, but I know her. Hello? Anyway.
Radiant Brit, do you not lecture the masses about properly containing your pets? Well, let us put a muzzle on this bulldog of yours. Shall we? I do not typically mute curse words. However, this urchin is simply that terrible. Let us have a look.
All of you fucking people who fucking come for Brit all the time, you're pathetic. You are literally the scum of the earth. You people are so, oh my God, desperate, pathetic, despicable liars. I cannot even wrap my mind around y'all's bullshit. I really cannot, okay?
If that video is filled with personal insults and attacks, that's not commentary to me. That's bullying, and it's vile, and it's hateful, and that is something that I would never do.
Hey, T-Spiracy. Party City called, and they said that you're way past due for payment from your knockoff Marilyn Monroe costume. I should probably put that out. Maybe, I don't know. Next.
Nicole, is this you? I may not be the smartest cat in this alley, but perhaps not have a go at anyone's appearance.
some days YouTube just isn't an enjoyable place to spend a chunk of your day, and I know that a lot of you guys feel the same way about that. And it kind of makes me sad. You know, I always do my best to, even if I'm sharing opinions that are a little bit more serious in nature, I never try to create a whole lot of negativity by encouraging, you know, you guys to attack anyone. Like, and you know, all that I can control is myself and what I'm talking about.
That's all I can think of. Because this is how Brit is. Look, Brit, she makes her videos and she sees it, she watches it, she hears about it, she knows about it. She knows when y'all get pressed about what she says. Do you know how she responds to it? She says nothing. You know why? Because y'all aren't worth her time. She thinks shit's funny. She truly does. She literally thinks you're pathetic, so she doesn't even waste her breath. It is that real. It mean girl mentality, whatever the f you call it. I call it realistic mentality.
This smashing example of grace and maturity is Radiant Brit's flying monkey. She created videos on anyone who dare question Pumpkin Spice Patty, all while proclaiming to be one of her very best friends. 'Tis no secret that Brit uses others to do her dirty work.
You participate in fuckery? I told you, I'd come for you.
She is at least honest. In fact, some time ago she threatened to pay money to dox myself. Laughable, but could be a worrisome behavior for many creators on the platform. And, not only did she make this statement, she later returned to my channel in an attempt to be welcome here. All while attempting to inform me her rules for my own channel. Again, laughable. Her delusion of grandeur is a barrel of laughs.
This little running around the internet, what is its name? Bobby? Okay. Can we please shut the up about anybody doing anything unless you're gonna come out from behind your little cat eyes? What was that owner doing to the actual real cat that killed that 9 times? Just curious. I mean, shouldn't we call like animal welfare units and shit? I'm just so over it. I literally thought about saying and not doing this shit anymore, because is it worth it? Because my family are being looked up. People are doing all kind of crazy shit, and I'm gonna find out who the is. I'm gonna find out. Y'all don't understand. I got the money, and I'm gonna find out.
Darling, how is the paid docs going for you? As many of you already know, I never contacted this urchin's family. It is my opinion she is simply a yappy dog used to keep the hands of Pumpkin Spice Patty clear of accountability. And, if she truly is simply mad and Brit is not this person's best friend, one would assume Radiant Brain would denounce such atrocious behavior under the umbrella of commentary. Let us have a look at a few more shining examples of Radiant Brit's side piece.
Saying somebody should do something and urging someone to do something are two different things. I realize people like you, Wildflower, like to ride fences, don't pick sides, like to be the nice person that everybody likes or whatever. But at some point, you need to put your big girl panties on and say what the side you stand on. Because right now, you look like a fool.
Brit, what say you on this behavior?
I know for a fact that I'm not being cruel or hurtful in my remarks. I'm just sharing my opinion. I'm not being, you know, racist or toxic or vile. I'm just here to share an opinion. So, you know, obviously if you're doing any of those other things, then my God, I mean, that's a whole different conversation.
Agree with. But as of right now, I'm so over talking about this irrelevant okay? And I hate that word, but that's what the she is, okay? You need to stop going so hard for people y'all don't even know. I go hard for Brit because I know her. Hello? I've never done that. And oh my God, I know I'm so aggressive. You just can't deal with listening to me because I'm so mean. Bitch, shut the fuck up. So are you, okay?
Brit, what say you on this behavior?
I've said this for a long time. I want my growth on YouTube to be slow, steady, and I want to never attract people that are here for a roast session.
Bambi, Susan, whatever her name is. I mean, I'm so tired of this shit. So many people have came to me and been like, I cannot watch her anymore. I cannot stand it. She's a fucking hypocrite. Yada, 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 yada. You know, and you are, dude. You sit on camera and you laugh and you scoff and you mock people and shit. But then when somebody does that shit to you, you fucking crybaby about it and then you take a internet break. Maybe commentary ain't for you. That's all I can think of. Because this is how Brit is. Look, Brit, she makes her videos and she sees it, she watches it, she hears about it, she knows about it. She knows when y'all get pressed about what she says. Do you know how she responds to it? She says nothing. You know why? Because y'all aren't worth her time. She thinks shit's funny. She truly does. She literally thinks you're pathetic, so she doesn't even waste her breath.
See them right in front of you, it solidifies, I am not okay with this. This is not something that I'm going to stand by. And I will never make content that is going to contribute to insults being spread or, you know, hate being spread or anything like that.
This is quite interesting.
So do I. Come at me. Please don't, because I'm going to come back at you. Never try to dox you or call CPS. I mean, someone should. Right? And I see Radiant Brit in her thumbnail. So we already know what time it is over here when it comes to Radiant Brit. Yes, I have a bias. I own it all day long. But this is not about her. It's about her, Janet. I figured since I'm always called a Brit stan anyway, and y'all know how much I love my girl, I figured I would go ahead and make something that would be, you know, entertaining, since I basically didn't do what the fuck that I was going to do. And it is that real. It mean girl mentality, whatever you want to call it. I call it realistic mentality, because that's what the fuck is really going on. I entertain this shit because it's fun.
Well, as you can all predict if you do not already know, Brit eventually denounced Coley, sending her into her first of many post-breakup rages within many communities.
All that wonderful shit. So, now, I have been making a video about this certain person for like what feels like a fucking eternity, okay? I have done like 2-3 different scripts, trying to figure out how to lay it out to make sense, to make it not look like what it's probably already gonna look like, okay? So, I decided, since I'm a reformed hypocrite, we're going to do a hypocrite headquarters series on my fucking channel. That's what I talked about the other day, remember? Okay, so, the very first person I'm going to cover is going to be the lovely, the wonderful, radiant fucking Brit, okay? So, for those of you who don't know, what you don't know is a lot. We used to be friends. I'm sorry, wait, no. I thought we were friends. She thought I was a delusional stan, apparently. Even though, I'm going to show you evidence today as to why me and others thought we were friends, okay? Because, like, even though y'all don't know this, she was friends with other people, kind of the way she was cool with me, that she talked to behind the scenes and on her channel, that she considered her fucking friend, okay? And the only reason why it's come to light where I was the delusional stan, because I created this channel, for those of you who don't know, to defend this.
This went on for some time, but, perhaps in an effort to self-preserve, before Brit and Coley parted ways, Coley would soon attach herself to a new host. Calista Cat is a YouTube commentary channel who found themselves in quite the kerfuffle. It is alleged she falsely accused Steph TXMA, Bambi Rambles and Not Another Housewife of harassment, as well as allegedly threatening to expose her. Relapse of a disorder Calista suffers. The repercussions of this drama would span more than a year. And it would be during this time that Coley would mount the knight's horse, and gallop into battle for Calista.
Opinion. I understand if certain people are upset because they feel like, you know, something happened to them, but I just want my subscribers to hear me when I say there are two sides to every story, and sometimes, even though it may look a certain way, it's not that way, okay? That's all I want to say. In closing, I'm always going to be, you know, ride or die for my friends, okay? And that is how I see Calista
And, you know, honorable mention, Brit. But this video, basically, is just to let everybody know my stance, my take, whatever I want to call it, I guess. Anyway, I love my friend, and it's going to stay that way. And there is no screenshot, recording, any kind of bullshit that's going to sway my opinion, because I've seen things behind the scenes, and that's just what I'm going to say.
Now, during the relationship with Calista would be when the breakup with Radiant Brit took place. While Calista was one of her longest-standing friendships on YouTube, rather recently, the two would part ways, and, in typical Coley fashion, Calista is a terrible person, and Coley is a victim. She even reached out to her nemesis, Steph, feeding her private messages and information about Calista. Almost immediately after their breakup, she also attempted to smooth things over with not another housewife and Bambi Rambles, who she had spent over a year bashing on and off, unless of course, being friendly with the women was beneficial to her. Never mind. Here are some bits from the Calista split up.
Calista and I met via Brit because Brit sent me Calista's first video in defense of her when all the self-taught beauty shit was going down. Yeah, remember that? Okay, well, Calista I was sent a video by Brit of Calista, okay? So then me and Calista started talking behind the scenes. I told her to be careful. I told her to make sure not everybody on YouTube are good people. Be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. I told her that all the fucking time, okay? Calista came to me and said she was blackmailed by Bambi. Calista did that, okay? Then, instead of coming in as her friend, I believed her. If you had a really good friend and so they told you that someone had blackmailed them, you'd believe them too, okay? But I didn't run to my platform and say that anybody blackmailed her, okay? So, anyway. So then, Calista ghosted me for months and months while I stood by and had to watch the internet burn to the ground because Calista was a fucking liar.
As you can see, this is quite a pattern. And as it were, quite concerning. Now, before we move on, I'm aware some may view this video who have been in the midst of this drama from the beginning. I am well aware that Coley's behavior is not exclusive to YouTubers. And she has had similar blow-ups with subscribers. Now, much like her breakup with Radiant Brit, when she broke up with Calista, she immediately reached out to the enemies of the woman, aside from Steph, who I already mentioned. She began showing special interest in not another housewife, as well as complimenting Bambi randomly, who returned not long after this, and the pattern remains as we move to her most recent epic breakup. Sarah Jean. Now, on both of these channels, much of the beginning of the relationship between Coley and Sarah has been erased or privatized. You still have to use your imagination in this matter. You should probably not be shocked to find she was equally as defensive and protective of Sarah as she was to Brit and Calista. It is also worth noting that at a point Calista also became friends with Sarah, or at the very least tolerance of one another. This coupled with a video that is now deleted, in which Sarah calls Coley a liar and expresses her feelings toward her newly estranged friend, this sends Coley into her darkest spiral yet.
We're going to go from start to finish. Okay, wait, are we starting at the very, 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 very beginning? Or are we starting at the very beginning?
Let's start all the way at the beginning.
Okay, so here's what happened. There was a girl named Sarah Jean. I love the anti-MLM community. A lot of you know this, and so it's going to be very fucking repetitive. Hey, take the comment down so our names will pop back up.
Okay. How do I do that? How do I take? Oh,
you
hide.
Click on the
Got it.
comment.
I got it.
Okay. Anyways, okay, here's what happened. I met a girl named Sarah because I like the anti-MLM community. Well, I did like the anti-MLM community. That shit has now changed, but I did, okay? So technically, I went to Sarah's channel because I heard Julie Jo was having beef with somebody. So I went to her channel because I was going to say something to her, like to confront her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I got there and I realized, wait. Sarah ain't the issue here. It's these bitches. You know what I mean? So I kept watching the saga going on. And then there was a video one day where Sarah was sitting in her bed. And she had I even remember what she was wearing. She had a robe on and she had one of those
I was like, oh my God, I don't want her to feel this way because I've been watching her at this point. So it's like, when you start watching somebody a lot, you don't want them to be sad. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh my God. And so I went to my channel just because I happen to have, a platform of some type. And so I went up there and I was like, hey, y'all, I know how cool y'all are. I love y'all. Can y'all please go love on this girl named Sarah? She's really having a tough time right now. It's a long story. Okay. I said, but long story short, something like, she's having beef with people who are way bigger than her, and she hadn't even really started her channel yet, and they're just coming for her. So just go love on her and let her know that not all people on YouTube are fucked up. Some of us are good people, right? Okay, so that's how that. Okay, it went from we hadn't ever talked before to best friends in the matter of weeks. Which, looking back, hindsight 2020, that's too fast. You know what I mean? So I understand that's just too fucking fast. Anyways, so in our friendship, there were many times where Sarah would be upset, going through something, whatever that may be, at home, depression, whatever. And she would kind of go quiet on me. So I knew that she was struggling. So what I would do would hit her up and be like, hey, send her something cool, like a gift or something like that, and be like, hey, you don't have to talk to me if you're not in a place where you want to talk to anybody. I'm just let you know I'm here. I love you. I'm thinking about it.
When you were a stranger to me, I was kind to you. Very.
Speaking of patterns, the new bestie on her panel was also friends with Sarah, and, in usual Coley fashion, she immediately embraced the breakup bonding, and she is now rabidly defending her brand new host.
Bad vibes, okay? I'm gonna sage my fucking house when I get done. Anyway, look, you need to tell the fucking truth. Because right now you're lying on me. I was a great friend to you, Sarah. A great friend to you. Okay? And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this one last time. And then we'll see if you have balls enough to show up Saturday. Okay? Because I highly doubt that you will. And by the way, what you did to Mandy, who is now my friend, was wrong. Was absolutely wrong. She's an amazing person. And you lied to her and gassed her up about me. And not only did you do that, you were supposed to have a podcast with her and you ditched her for somebody like fucking Tira? Make that make sense for me, please. I'm going to ask about that. Anyway, Mandy now we've become wildly successful and it's amazing. You have no idea. Okay. We are now about to be on multiple platforms. Okay. Even on Apple Music, Spotify, all that. We're about to do that. That could have been you. But you chose to fuck your own friend that had your back, that came for me for months for you, and you fucking left her high and dry. You kept sending her the wrong fucking link. I can't get the link to work. Amazing how you had all these other people on the panel with you. Amazing how that happened. But yet I'm the one who's stupid, who don't know how to use a link. At least I can admit it, okay? You fucked your friend over, okay? You were never my friend. I figured that out already. Never. Never were you my friend. Ever. And then I noticed something else. I started going back and thinking, okay? And what you don't know is I downloaded every video off your channel before you deleted it.
I've had just about enough of this nutter, never mind. I do wish I could have had the time to add each and every toxic friendship she has created on the internet, but I think my point has been taken. From Tira Nicole, to Radiant Brit, to reality TV YouTuber LB. Coley finds a suitable host, follows them along like a rat to the tune of the Pied Piper, and ultimately recycles these toxic breakups time and time again. Eventually, Coley, you must realize that you are always the denominator. Perhaps it's loneliness. Perhaps it is ego. All I know is that Coley has lost the plot to be safe out there. Especially when creating online relationships. Cheers.